Hi Anand, so I thought today we will talk about the 5 stages of a bubble. Since we are right now going through the classic stock market bubble, asset market bubble, I think we have multiple bubbles running within bubbles right now. So let's first talk about what are the 5 stages of a bubble. Then we'll maybe dive into where the bubbles are right now.
Okay, I'll first tell what is a bubble.
Correct.
A bubble is when P by E ratio or any measure you take, when the average P by E ratio of the index is several standard deviations away from the normal. That is the long term average. So each standard deviation, how many standard deviations it's away. Depending on that, you can decide the size of the bubble. So now there is no doubt that we are in a bubble. Only the questions being asked are which type of bubble we are in. So we won't go into that today. So today I want to tell you what is a bubble. A bubble is when asset prices are highly elevated and cannot be justified by any rhyme or reason. One of the first things that you need for a bubble, an enabling condition, is that money is cheap and free. That Jerome Powell and his predecessor have been mentioning from 2009. So money is free, money is cheap, money is being printed like no tomorrow by England, Japan, America and the European Union. And our own Shaktikanta Dasa, the Indian guy, also has joined on the party. So this is the first enabling condition. But this is alone not enough. There have been times in the history of the world when interest rates have been low and yet there have been no great bubbles. So first, any bubble starts with a kernel of truth and we call it displacement. That means there should be a disruptive technology. The 2000-2003 bubble was the internet bubble. Why did I say there was a kernel of truth? People like Google and Amazon lasted, survived, thrived and became great companies after that. So there was a truth on the power of the internet. Only thing it got blown out of. So any bubble starts with a kernel of truth. In this case, the kernel of truth was that
Internet is the future.
not
Doing
internet,
e-commerce.
e-commerce also Amazon had taken. Electric vehicles was the future. And renewables and electric vehicles, renewable energy and ESG was the future. And COVID made sure that money was available free. There are two ways money can be created. One is the Federal Reserve creates the money, buys assets and floods the market. This creates an asset price inflation. In this case, to join the party, the Biden administration and all Western world gave generous stimulus to the people because they were struggling from COVID. So a lot of them got checks. In America, everybody got something like $5,000 to $6,000 free money. So they went out and started shopping. So this is the enabling condition. The kernel of truth I already told you. And when COVID struck, the Federal Reserve made rates zero and printed enormous amounts of money. People got their hands on the money and started spending it. So this thing there became a boom. In this boom, you add for what is going on for 8 years, what is known as cryptocurrency, an alternate world.
Yeah, the kernel of truth in that is
Blockchain.
blockchain signal, sorry. Yeah.
Blockchain is a brilliant technology.
So that's the kernel of truth.
That's the kernel of truth. And then private people can create money and money can keep on increasing in value. The problem is if money keeps on increasing in value, it cannot be a medium of exchange. So it cannot run an honest monetary policy. Deflation is more dangerous than inflation. And Bitcoin is highly deflatory. So that went into a big boom. So you had EV.
Yeah, we have displacement.
We had displacement.
Then we came into the boom.
Boom. And that led to another displacement in terms of cryptos.
Correct.
Because money was not made very cheap, people wouldn't have thought about crypto.
True.
Now we have got one displacement, a small boom, another displacement. Now we are in for heady. And the central banks and the politicians wanted too much of a good thing. They didn't remove the punch bowl in time. They were topping it up. So this boom kept on building up.
Feedback loop.
There was a positive feedback loop. To the point when Tesla, when you made Elon Musk a double century billionaire. $250 billion, I think, was his peak valuation, or nearly $300 billion. And then you met Jeff Bezos, also $200 billion plus.
Took Apple to $1 trillion.
All the paper. And several companies cost $1 trillion valuation. Like Microsoft was nearly 70% of India's GDP. So you really were giving free money away. So this was what was happening.
So we haven't reached euphoria as yet.
This is euphoria. That is, Elon Musk was forced into, he had he had already qualified by turnover. But he had 3 successful quarters of profits. He had to be taken into the S&P 500. So it became normal.
It became the norm.
It became the norm. He and his brother had to sell stock to pay capital gains tax. That means they had no liquidity. Right? And he had already pledged some of his stock to borrow and do something else. But when money is available freely, then you are a genius. This was happening in one side of the world. On the other side of the world, there's a guy called Moshe-san, SoftBank. And because Japan is printing like no tomorrow, he used that borrowed truckloads of printed money. In his life, he took one correct bet. That's the displacement. He backed Alibaba. Because he backed Alibaba at the right time.
That was the kernel of truth.
So that is the kernel of truth. That's another third one. So whatever he touches is supposed to turn into gold.
Okay.
So he backed.
He can do no wrong.
He can do no wrong. WeWork. Then he bought ARM Holdings. He backed Oyo. He backed Zomato. All debt companies. With easy money and with the kernel of truth, he had become trader. On the other side, you started a boom. So you had a kernel, you had a boom. So you had 3 booms working together.
Feeding into a massive euphoria.
Yeah, there's a technology boom, there's a Moshe-san boom, and then there is a cryptocurrency boom. And in this, normally booms, what was happening is, value would be decided in public, by the public. Here, in this boom, the VCs were deciding the private valuations. They were passing the parcel among themselves, like Zomato, loaded it up at very high price, and tried to dump it on the market. Like Uber, they dumped it on the market and still it has not got back to that value. I think Zomato dropped below IPO price.
Correct.
So all this is fancy. This is all showing. So you had displacement, you had boom, you had euphoria. Euphoria was when in India, stocks like Nykaa and Paytm were
going to the roof.
Go to the roof. WeWork was the boom in the global market.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. So you got the boom.
So we entered the 4th stage, profit taking.
Now you entered the 4th stage. Why do you know it's profit taking? Because Mr. Warren Buffett was pushed from number 4 to number 11. He didn't do anything. Only he didn't take part in this party. He didn't do the party.
He wasn't drinking the juice.
He was not drinking the juice. So he, old man, between 2000 and 2000, the crusty old man, he does not know anything. So from 3, he dropped to 11. Now we know his profit taking is working because from number 11, he has moved to number 5.
True.
Right? And we bought Berkshire Class B.
True.
So we owned Berkshire Class B at the right time. So we are still profitable. But what happens? Look at this now. You had displacement at 3 places. True. You had an enabling condition.
Correct.
And then you had a boom. Then you had euphoria. Then you had profit taking. So you have reached the 4th place.
We haven't hit panic as yet, the 5th.
Yes. The final phase is panic.
Well, no, but when will that happen? When do you think?
All this we don't know when it will happen. See, because every time there was panic so far, COVID was supposed to be the time it happened. Jerome Powell and everybody and Joe Biden, everybody
printed more cash.
Placed the punch bowl and topped it up. So, but here today, they can't do that because inflation is at a 40-year high.
Correct.
And it is expected in March it will be higher because gasoline prices are higher.
Shooting, yes.
And Putin has shot himself in the foot
and shot
everybody in the foot. So next month it's going to be worse.
So you're saying we are at the cusp of some major panic?
Because already these libertarian voices are talking of printing too much money. So he has already said 0.25 I will increase. So he has to keep on increasing 0.25 till it cracks. Then they are hoping for a base effect. That is, last year's base is high, you can't climb on top of that. They said this base effect will come now. Now base effect has moved to May, June in spring. But base effect will wear off quickly and then it will start to climb again.
True.
And in any inflation, more than inflation, there is a problem of inflationary expectations. That is what you expect inflation to be 1 year from now.
Correct.
And this is set by wage demand. Now wage is fastly rising in America. There are a lot of jobs. Nobody wants to do the jobs at the price. You have given us a lot of money. Why should I need the job? So people are bidding up the jobs.
So we're going to have some interesting few months coming ahead of us.
As of now, it looks whether it stays in profit taking or whether it crashes.
Yes, you're right. It keeps switching back and forth sometimes
Yeah.
before the burst comes.
Before the burst comes, we don't know when the burst will come.
Like your
But
famous Seth said.
Like Seth Klarman said, we don't know when the end will come.
But it'll definitely come.
But we know for sure it's coming. So you have to be extremely careful and you cannot take any risk with that.
Good investments.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is what is the boom. There are 5 stages. There's displacement. In this cases, there were 3 displacements.
Correct.
You need an enabling condition, a catalyst. Low interest rates and free money was a catalyst.
Correct.
Then you need that kernel of truth became displacement.
Correct.
Then it started to boom.
Correct.
Then where you had $200 billion
Euphoria.
Euphoria.
Profit
Then you have to profit taking. What is left is the 5th stage. So this is how you define a boom.
Bubble.
If you go to 500 years, and profit taking is Buffett moving back from 11 to 5. So when there is a bust, he'll move from 5 to 1.
Yeah, let's tomorrow talk about that. Let's
Yeah.
talk about the 500-year cycles
We'll talk about the 500-year cycle tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Anyway, thank you for watching Be Rich. I enjoyed doing this with my brother Anand Srinivasan. I hope you realize how to spot a bubble when it is there. But the great traders are people who get in when there is a displacement and get out when there is profit taking. It's time to get out now. Thank you for watching Be Rich. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notification. If you don't turn on the bell notification, you will not receive a video every time we put out one. And finally, if you like the content, please share it with your friends and relatives. Thank you for watching. Be Rich. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.